The woman had just served a fried egg to a worker. Suddenly, water leaked from the ceiling. The worker couldn't dodge in time. The egg fell to the ground. Seeing this, the woman hurried to replace it. The humble worker waved her off, picked up the egg covered in mud, rinsed it quickly and without hesitation, stuffed it in his mouth. This scene provoked laughter from the other workers. The woman was touched by the warm atmosphere. But a few days later, in front of everyone, she was bullied by an elderly woman. Eggs repeatedly smashed against her body. The eating workers remained silent. The woman bent down, continuously apologizing. The reason was simple. A few days earlier, the elderly woman's worker son had died saving the woman's trapped husband. The story quickly spread. People began questioning the nationwide effort to rescue a man buried in the tunnel, his fate unknown. Finally, leadership voted to abandon the rescue. The developer, for self-interest, threatened the woman to sign a rescue cancellation document. For her daughter's safety, she agreed. The tunnel workers stopped work upon hearing this. Then the woman announced on the radio to the entire country that she voluntarily gave up, but the words stuck in her throat. She feared her husband might still be alive and would never be rescued. But no one could have imagined her husband was indeed still alive. Though his phone was useless, the car's radio was still working, surviving without water or food for half a month. The broadcast he heard was nothing but bad news. The man refused to give up. Grabbing a flashlight, he staggered out of the car, diving into the rubble, determined to carve out his own path to survival. But climbing out was no easy feat. Before he could move a few meters, the neighboring tunnel began explosive construction. The man realized they weren't just abandoning the rescue, they were going to bury him alive. In this critical moment, he refused to wait for death. Returning to the car, he pressed the horn desperately, trying to signal that he was still alive. But the uninformed workers began a second round of blasting. Just as they were about to detonate, the team captain was startled to discover a forgotten detector in the tunnel suddenly transmitted a signal. They opened the manhole and heard repeated horn sounds. The man was alive. Hearing the news, workers rushed out of their rooms. The rescue operation restarted. Workers began rescue efforts overnight. The next day, the man, trapped for 35 days, was successfully carried out. Everyone was overwhelmed. Media swarmed the man. When he finally managed to squeeze out, they still prevented him from boarding the rescue plane. Such a big scene. Of course, they had to wait for the minister to take photos. A reporter noticed the man speaking to the captain and asked the captain, what were the man's first words after rescue? The captain hesitated for a moment, then shouted loudly, while everyone stood stunned. The man gave the captain a solid thumbs up, but the news reported that immediately after rescue, the man praised the government. The minister seized the opportunity to give a speech. Human life is above all else. The captain was demoted, reduced to a gatekeeper in a security booth, forced to write a 10,000-word self-criticism. How laughable. What collapsed was not just the tunnel, but exposed the ugly face of modern society.